Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and welcome to my 2025 edition Final Fantasy XI Let's Play. Yeah, people have been asking for this since the patch 7.1, well, patch dropped in Final Fantasy XIV. A mix of people who just want to see the state of the game as it is now, and people who have no intention of playing but would like to experience the story in some capacity. I did a sort of Let's Play of it back in 2014. In fact, some of those videos are my most watched videos on the channel. And so, I don't really have any series like this going on my channel right now. I don't do the Let's Play 14 anymore. I haven't done this in a while. But I've been getting a lot of requests for this. So, we are going to be making a brand new character. And, well, the goal is to play through literally as much as possible and release this once a week until Oblivion, probably. Whether that be the game actually being Oblivion or, you know, my attention span is Oblivion. So, this is going to act as both a new player experience to Final Fantasy XI, sort of a guide and follow-through, as well as a means of telling the story. I'll probably get rid of my little box in the bottom left or like make it a lot smaller or something as well, because I haven't really figured out how I'm going to do the chat windows just yet. So first and foremost, I do have a video on Final Fantasy XI and installing it in case that's something you are interested in doing, and I am going to largely be using two resources to help me get through and navigate. While a lot of this can be from memory, not everything can be. And as such, there are a couple of guides that are really nice for new players, one of which used to be called the Quick Start 1-to-119 guide, is just now called New Player Leveling Guide, and then there's also Fantastic EXPs and where to find them, which is more for your general use EXPing, or can be used in conjunction with the New Player Guide. I'll include both of those in the link below as well. And yes, I'm playing on retail. No, I will not be playing on private servers ever. I lived through the premiere era of Final Fantasy XI. That was 12 hours a day for me when I wasn't in school, and when I was in school, it was literally the moment I got home till the moment I went to bed, and then sometimes waking up at 3, 4 in the morning to catch something before school as well. I don't need to relive that. I'm good. I prefer to do bursts of nostalgia instead of trying to be trapped in that essence for the rest of my life. And although I guess technically doing this series is a little bit of both, I suppose. But anyway, let's create a new character and go onward with our adventure. So the first thing I want to say, Final Fantasy XI's character creator is the biggest sham of any character creator I have ever experienced in any game. Your character that you make here is not going to look anything like what you see here when you actually get into the game. It's not built on the in-game engine. It's like a totally different like rendering engine or everything. So you can sometimes make like a semi-decent looking character in here that maybe you like here, but when you get into the game, there's a non-zero probability that you just don't like the way your character looks when you actually get into the game. Like, I think Elvon's necks are longer in game. I think Mikote's are like I said Mikote's, dude. This is going to happen a bunch, isn't it? Elizin, Elvon, Mikote, Mithra. Mithra's, I know a lot of people just don't like the way Mithra's look. I normally play Taro, but that probably won't be the case this time around. Yeah, it's really the faces. I mean, it's the funny thing is the backgrounds look normal. Like, it's like, yeah, that's definitely Lithene Plateau. But that's definitely not how the characters look when I'm roaming around Lithene Plateau. It's also funny, all of the female options just have this like, they just have these like mysterious and or seductive themes to them, and it's very, very 2002 coded, which is when this came out in Japan. Now I have a Galka. I don't want to play a Galka. That's the character I have that's actually done all the story. Taru was my first character, so I think I should be one of the other races. I think I'm going to be... So, Elvon... No, my first ever character was a Hume. My second character was an Elvon. And then I had alts that were Mithras. So, I think we're going to go with Elvon. Just... you know what, though? There's one reason why I don't want to go Elvon, and it's a really minor one that I'll get into in a second here. But I'm actually going to go Hume. My first ever character was a Hume. Oh, well, I mean, I think we have to go that. That's Ardbert. I mean, I think we have to do that, right? Like, I think face 4 is closer to like the poster. Yeah, phases 4 and 1 are like the poster child phases. There's a lot of characters that look like phase 7. I think we have to go phase 2 just because it's as close to the 14 Warrior of Light as I think we're going to get. Hair A. And there aren't very many options. We'll be the tallest option for this. And, okay. So, starting class. There are, I think, 22 jobs in Final Fantasy XI right now. You can only start with 6, and then after you get to level 30, you can start unlocking the rest of them. So, your starting job is relatively important, because your starting job is A, going to be your initial experience, so you want it to be an easy one, and B, it's probably going to facilitate some other successes that you can have later, meaning that it'll either be a sub job for the other jobs that you pick, or it will be a job that is just useful to have on hand. Warrior is just an easy choice to make. It's average with most weapons, especially good with axes and great axes. If you want to go Dark Knight, it's valuable to maybe level your greatsword skill, for example, as that's going to be required for the unlock. If you plan on transferring to another melee job that uses a weapon type it has access to, then it's not a bad idea to just level that weapon type. And it's just well-rounded. It's got a lot of really good skills. Monk, good for hand-to-hand. Useful job overall. I don't know what its sub-job status is now, but Monk is really more of a job that if you're probably picking it, you're going to end up leveling Warrior anyway. So it ends up not being a super recommended pick. A good initial job. It has counterattacks. It's got some evasion and accuracy buffs, which can be handy early on. And then, yeah, other than that, it's wouldn't be my first recommended. The mages are tough. White mage and black mage, you have to buy every spell that you can cast in this game, pretty much, minus a couple. And so, while Gil isn't crazy hard to get, it's an expense that if you can avoid it early, it will probably be better for you. So, these you can play if you want to, but don't buy all of your spells. You probably just buy a handful of them. Like White Mage would probably want to buy Dia, Cure, Banish, things like that. Maybe you could like dive into some of the other stuff, but you'll mostly just be auto-attacking anyway because of trusts. Black Mage, very similar. Just buy tier 1 magic. Don't even really bother buying the higher tier magic early on. Just make sure you keep your skills actually leveled, because you have to level all of your magic skills as you go up. Red Mage, if you're going to pick a mage, probably my recommended, but it does have some very expensive spells in the middle range of levels. And so, but it does have, you know, better melee. It doesn't really matter, though. You're going to do fine with any of the melee on any of these. Thief is probably my other most recommended job. Thief has Treasure Hunter, which will help you with drops that you may need for certain quests. It also has Flee, which you can use for movement speed and dungeons. It's very useful overall. The damage is nice. And the utility long-term, it's something you'll probably want to level at some point if you do plan on adventuring into any of the endgame stuff. However, odds are you'll also want Warrior as a sub-job for it at some point. There are other sub-jobs that you'll more likely use later on, but Warrior does make for an excellent sub-job. I started Thief in my 2014 Let's Play. I think we start Thief in this Let's Play as well. I think we go down that road. High probability I will have to level Warrior, but that is a-okay. We are going to name this character... I don't want to make it a character that stands out. Like, I don't want to name it Mr. Happy and then have people see that it's me. I don't want to name it, like, Let's Play. Actually, that's probably not the worst idea. Let's name it Wait, why is it not typing? Did I tab out? I think I tabbed out. Let's name it Pletzlay. Does that... Yeah, well, no, now it looks like... No, okay, I was going to say it looks like Pet Slay. No, Pletzlay. Yeah, there we go. Instead of Let's Play, it's Pletzlay. That's stupid. Well, wait, it's Pletzay. Sorry, hold on. That's Pletzay. There you go. No one's going to understand that. Now, server selection is a tough one. There are really only a few servers I can recommend, and one of them I don't really recommend. Asura is, as it's at the top of the list, is basically the go-to for the highest population, but that's not the best thing necessarily. For a brand new player, there are a lot of items on the market, but there's also a lot of merking content where people buy content for Gil, sell content for Gil, and so the markets themselves are kind of really weird. I've also seen some heinous shout chats in Asura. So it's hard for me to recommend it, but it is technically, last I checked at least, maybe not true in 2025, the highest population server. Bahamut is where I actually have a link shell. I am not super active in it because obviously I don't play this all the time, but also pretty decent. Normally like 1,000 to 1,200 concurrent online, depending on the time of day. Maybe goes down to like, 700 to 800 during like really weird hours. Decent community, decent market where I'm going to be making this character. After that, I'm not really sure where else you can go. I've heard that Odin is okay. And I feel like there's one more. My original character was on Shiva. Well, no, my very first character was on Valfer. My character that I actually played, though, throughout most of the game was on Shiva. But we are going to be going with Bahamut. That way, Now, if you can get a Gold World Pass, which was actually an option that I slipped past briefly. Let me see if I can go back to it real quick without restarting the entire process. Nope, restarts the entire process. All right, I think it's got... Yeah, okay, it remembered... all of my settings. I just have to click through them again. That's funny. If you can get access to a... No, not Bismarck. If you get access to... I'll finish the sentence at some point. To a Gold World Pass... Where's Bahamut? That's actually incredibly useful. That will give you access to an ECAD ring. There are entire, like, Reddits. In fact, I bet if I asked for one, I could find one in my own Discord. My Discord has, like, a Final Fantasy XI section, and there were people who are giving out gold passes. Basically, just, I don't know where it is, but I think in either the Reddit or Reddit Discord, there's like a gold pass thread, or again in my Discord, where if you go and ask, people will give them to you. These used to be used, world passes used to be used to, you couldn't select a server you played on initially, and you used to need a world pass to get to a server that you wanted. Gold World Pass, which just gives you bonus items. The ECAD ring is the big one, massive EXP buff that you can use, I think it's once a day. It's been a while. But if you can get one, do it. I'm not going to bother. It's not the end of the world if you don't have one. You can get an ECAD ring eventually just by playing. So we are going to go through that. Now, next we come to the city-state. Now, this decision does not matter that much. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter at all, but it doesn't matter that much. Some of this decision could boil down to if you want to be closer to a job that you want to unlock at 30, you'd have to have researched that in advance. Some of this could just be the aesthetic. Sandoria, for example, with the aesthetic here that you can see, very, very popular just for the way that it looks. The nearby areas, just very popular. Bastok, also quite. They're all popular for different reasons. Bastok has access to some really valuable notorious monsters and a little bit easier of a run through to the other zones. It's also closer to things like the Dark Knight quests, so people who want that usually start here. My choice where I will be starting. And then Windurst. Normally people who like doing mage quests, mage-related quests, there's a lot of spells that can be unlocked here, and a handful of other things. Windurst does come with the disadvantage of often requiring a boat ride to get to the other two city-states. It doesn't technically. You can go to Juneau, which, is at the center of all three, and then walk to the other locations. But more often than not, you're going to have to take a boat, which you'll probably end up taking to Windurst in the first place. The only difference is Bastok and Sandoria are basically just a few zones apart, and so they're closer to one another. That's really the main advantage. The other advantage is, depending on your starting race, starting in a certain city-state will also grant you a ring. This ring isn't that big of a deal. I honestly would say that you shouldn't care about it at all. But if you're an Elvon and you start in Sandoria, you'll get a Sandoria ring. If you are a Hume or a Galka and you start in Bastok, then you'll get a Bastok ring. And if you are a Mithra or a Tartaru, then starting in Windurst will give you a Windurstian ring. They each have different values. I think the Sandoria one is more tank-esque. The Bastok one is more melee-esque, and the Windurst one is more mage-esque. You can also buy these rings with a currency later. They're not that important. But I am going to be starting in Bastok. It is the area I have started in every character I have made, except for probably like one. And it is my preferred for a lot of reasons. I'm very familiar with it, so it will make going through this much, much easier. But I will say, don't worry too much about that decision. Just play wherever you think is the coolest, and quite frankly, it's not really going to matter. I will also say that each of them has their own story, and I actually think Windurst and Sandoria, in my opinion, have the stronger stories. So that could be a thing, but you can eventually do all of them anyway. So the red text in the top left you're seeing pop up, and you will see that pop up on occasion, is actually something called Windower. It's a third-party application, which you know I'm normally not a big fan of, but with Final Fantasy XI, it's considered kind of a staple. I'm actually going to get rid of this box in the bottom left. It has a ton of really nice quality of life on it, but I don't really use any of that quality of life. In the good... Oh, this text is way too fast, by the way. I can't even... Like, I can barely read it. It's way too quick. It just gives you a brief introduction to each of the city-states. Ancient Institutes of Magic, Bastok is still a budding nation, but advanced technology and near limitless underground resources have allowed Bastok to rival the other two nations in power. Okay, maybe it's not that quick. Innovative and adaptable humans make up more than half the population of Bastok. With their flair for industry, economy, and politics, they were the driving force behind Bastok's rapid growth. Even now, humans hold key positions in those areas. The Gulka, a race of hulking humanoids, comprise a third of Bastok's population. Originally hailing from Zepwell, they came to this land over 600 years ago. Without their incomparable strength, the countless ore mines that drive Bastok's economy would never have been dug. Adventurers seeking fame and fortune flock to rising nations like Bastok. You are one of them. Your story begins here, amid the smoke and bustle of the industrial city of Bastok. We'll get back to the Windower point in a second here. Why? Why won't you let me go outside? As I've said, we have strict orders not to let you pass, milady. It'll mean our heads if we let you go outside. But why? Well, you know as well as we do. You know as well as we do, milady. Please, I will maybe gone a second. I have to help a friend. Did this friend of yours ask you to risk your life? You know how dangerous it is outside. Well, no, but that's what I thought. You should know better than to go meddling in other people's affairs, milady. Hey, what'd you go and upset her for? What if she tells the boss? Hey, that's me, Pletse. Oh, hi there. Were you there the whole time? Aren't I pitiful? Not even allowed to go out of the city gates by myself. Sorry, didn't mean to gripe. You look like a fledgling adventurer. Is this your first time in Bastok? Yes. Oh, I should have said no. Now I just realized. Wait, I'd show you around, but I'm a little busy. Well, gotta go. I have to find a way to get outside these walls. Okay, I thought she was going to give me the tutorial. I think they have to anyway. Phew, she's finally gone. Why won't we let her go outside, you ask? Oh, you'll find out soon enough. So you're new in Bastok, huh? What are you thinking of doing first? Fighting monsters. Hey, not so fast. It's dangerous out there. Well, if you really want to go outside, you can go back the way you came through the gate. Don't come complaining to me if you get hurt. If you do go, one piece of advice. Check your target before fighting it, and only fight creatures you're sure you can beat. Got that? Well, take this adventurer. Come on. Bring it to Dulcie. You can find her in front of the drawbridge. She'll help you out. And they even show you where Dulcie is. She's like, you know, just a few steps over. Put the map from the main menu on the right if you want to check it again. How? After opening map from the main menu, select markers and press the right arrow key. Remember, if you want to give an item to someone, use trade from the main menu. That's it. Guess I'll be seeing you around. Alright, before I get into doing that, there's a handful of things that we need to do. Number one, I'll finish my explanation. So, Windower is a third-party application, and while I'm not normally crazy about them, for the longest time, Windower was considered, I mean, I say longest time, it still technically is, a mainstay of playing the game on PC. Originally, the game had no native windowed mode, and yet tabbing out would actually cause the game to crash. So people made Windower initially just to get around that. Nowadays, it also hosts several add-ons that range from quality of life to stuff that is considered damn near essential to be playing the game at a high level at this point. I have like two things active on it. I think one that prevents my character from blinking whenever you change equipment. Your character normally blinks. And while there are settings that can disable that native to the game, there are certain pieces of equipment that when you change them, it will cause you to blink even with the settings on. So that I played Ninja, which I would regularly exchange out my ranged weapon, so it would cause issues with that. So that's the main reason why I'd have that one. The other one is a Puppet Master one that allows you to store gear sets. I honestly don't even remember how to use it, and I won't be playing Puppet Master anyway. So Those are the only real reasons why I have it on, but there's a lot more that it can do, and it's a whole huge thing. Now, depending on the server you're on, one of the first things you're probably going to want to do is go into your chat filters. You may have seen a few shouts there of somebody just looking for content. There's nothing wrong with seeing a lot of those shouts. If you're not on Asura, odds are those shouts are perfectly fine. But if you are on Asura, it's not the worst idea to probably turn on some of the chat filters. It can also help just by... it can get really chaotic. If you have everything on, all of your combat logs are going to show in there. Every single thing you do is going to show in there. And quite frankly, it just gets to be a little bit much, in my opinion. So if I recall, I normally do all of these, unless I otherwise need them on. Special actions and attacks, just allow me to see this. Attacks by others. This means that if I see someone out in the field, I don't have to worry about seeing their stuff. Random NPCs, fishing results, lot results, campaign-related data I don't need. Tell messages deemed spam, we definitely don't want those. Shout and yell messages deemed spam, we definitely don't want those. I don't mind job-specific emotes, messages from alter egos are fine. And then I don't really need any of these either. Now keep in mind, this is a long way from being done. I also usually turn off shout and yell. Now, that's one of the settings. However, there are the settings to actually split the chat log with the Windows option over here. I usually do a vertical multi-window. I don't normally do it like that, but I do normally do a vertical multi-window. I'm going to do that. And then we have to go into the individual windows and decide what each of them is going to do. I don't normally have them super wide like that. I don't remember how to... Let's see, resize time. I don't remember if that will fix itself when I... Yes, okay. It'll redo it right there. And then window 2 can be the same thing. Just get it down to that same width. One of these I'll normally use for, let's say, like combat messages, and the other one I will use for chat messages. So, let's see. Let me turn on. Let's see. I think the top one is by default, just for chatting, if I recall. And we just want to make sure that we don't have to deal with this. I think the rest of these are fine. We'll turn tell off for now, especially because no one's going to know who I am, so I shouldn't be getting any tells, so it should be safe to turn off. And the second one should have all of my combat stuff. Yeah, by default, it does that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, I'll probably have to mess with that a little bit. There are some other things that you should definitely make sure you do. Auto disconnect off. I highly recommend you turn this off before even installing the game. And the chat language filter, quite frankly, I don't care. There's a whole bunch of options in here as well. A big one is, let's see, is it one of the miscellaneous ones? Let me look for it. Area display, style lock. Weapon effects on, party icon display on. I'm trying to remember. Keyboard size full. Background. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so the game was in 4:3 there by default. You can change it to 16:9. You probably want to change it to 16:9. That's in miscellaneous too. Macro palette size. That's stuff we don't have to get into for quite some time. And then in regular miscellaneous. I preferred my damage display to be both in the log and on screen. Gameplay. I don't know how the volume is. I think I tested it beforehand, but hopefully the in-game volume is fine now. Inventory sort on. Probably want that. Gamepad options. So gamepad options don't actually open in the game itself. It actually opens an external menu. With Windower, I don't believe it works. I think that only works if you're playing on the native client, which, as a reminder, by the way, the native client does have a windowed mode now. It just didn't before. Now, I am pretty sure I play inverted. Yes, that feels right. Yeah, okay. Because I was doing it the other way, and I was like... That's weird. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I play with my camera inverted. And then effects. This can be to help a frame. This is just whether or not you want to see all the crazy effects. I usually just turn screen shaking off because that's just not good for me. I feel like there's one more thing that I was looking for, but I don't see it. So I'll have to keep playing and see if I remember it for later. But that's something I would definitely do right away. I would also familiarize yourself with all of the windows. We're going to turn on the Bastocken ring and the onion knife. We're going to make sure we have both those on. Now, we do have a little bit of a checklist to do before we actually go out and begin fighting. First, let's trade in that adventurer's coupon. So if you want to trade, you do need to open the menu and actually click trade. And that just gets rid of that for 50 gil. Not a big deal. Now, if you've put in your code, so if you buy this on Steam, you should get a code for I think it doesn't matter where you buy it, but you get a code for a Destrier beret and a Chocobo shirt. And you have to find, I think it's a Festive Moogle. And the Festive Moogle will give you those, and those will give you massive buffs up to level 30, I believe. I highly recommend getting them and wearing them all the way up to that level. It's 2 less pieces of equipment you need to worry about, too, which is especially nice. Maybe I didn't play inverted. This feels weird. Then again, it could just be because I haven't played in a while, so it's not really as intuitive as it seems. You know what it is? I think one of them I played inverted, and one of them I didn't play inverted. Mouse, camera. Pick my Y-axis. Yeah, I think that's right. So, nearby here, I believe there should be a Festive Moogle. Now, see, that still feels weird. There is a Skipper Moogle. No. There should be a bunch of Moogles over here. Let's see. I think I have that. Yeah, here we go. Festive Moogle. I'm pretty sure I put those codes. I've had those codes for years. Pretty sure I put them in. Is it Festive Moogle? Is it Greener Moogle? Check exchange points. Login points always a good thing. Courier Moogle. That guy sells stuff. I swear it is the Festive Moogle, but I think I might not have actually put the codes in. I could have swore I did, but I'm gonna double check real quick. If not, I'll put them in before the next one. At the very least, you know where this guy is. And I would highly, highly advise you know, I am used to having all of my own stuff, so it wouldn't surprise me if I just decided to never do that. That sounds like something I would do. Yeah, because unless maybe I just need to talk to him more than once also. I've got nothing for you, sorry. Man, I really never put those codes in? I'm actually shocked with myself. Maybe we should do those just so I can show you that equipment. I'm actually, well, no, again, I guess I'm not really that shocked. You know, I feel like this is pretty in line with something that I would do. Just because I'm me. I'll be like, nah, I don't need those. But they are no. They are really, really good, and you should 100% be putting them in. I feel like I remember getting the pop-up over and over again. Yeah, there it is. I see Destrier. Yeah, because it comes with the Seekers of Adulin. You may need to enter these keys after the application is launched. Oh, is it like in one of the menus? Really? You don't put those in on the site anywhere, huh? Yeah, I guess that's true. I do not see a way to put the codes in on the site. Registration codes. Here we go. Wait, no, that registration codes did in no way help me with that. Yeah, I think I might need to actually enter those in the game itself. No, it says like, oh, wait. Now, I mean, so I have entered them, but I guess it's per character? Because I have the Chocobo shirt and the Destrier beret on a different character, but then I also have another one? Where did I put these in? I have no idea where I put these in. I'm just like, all right, hold on. We're gonna look at this. We're gonna get through this together. Yeah, put it in the campaign code. Log into the account management. Click add service account. All right, I guess that's I guess you have to add a service account in order to do it. All right. Don't worry. We're going to do this together. Am I even allowed? I guess here's the thing. I guess I'm going to find out if I'm allowed to even do this. No, it's already been registered. So, okay. Here's the thing. I can't use it on this character because it's already on the other character. All right. So keep that in mind. This is actually good. If you put it in on one character, don't then make another character because it doesn't allow you to do it. So that's fine. Again, not that big of a deal. I normally do this without those items. So that is A-okay by me. But if you are new, make sure that you go and get those. You should have those codes. You should get them and you should put them in. Also, every home point that you can possibly talk to. In Modern 11, you can walk between, you can teleport between all of them. No, this camera angle is still not right either. I'm trying to figure out. I'll figure it out. Maybe it's the left and the right that's confusing. No, this feels all right. No, this feels better. Yeah. You can teleport between home points. So you really want to grab every single home point that you possibly can. So that's number one. Hand it in the adventurer coupon, home points, get your hat and your shirt if you have them. Mine are on other characters, so it's not going to be happening for me. And then we're going to go grab this home point over here. There should be one other one. If you're wondering if there's a home point, by the way, map will show it as like a blue crystal. You can see it kind of right there. And obviously you can see it directly in front of me. And that should be good. Now also, whenever you are near a gate, you're going to want to talk to one of these guys and have them cast Signet on you. Signet will allow you to accrue conquest points, and it will cause monsters to drop crystals. This is useful in a lot of things. The conquest points you're going to use to buy some rewards, one of which is a warp ring, which will let you return to a home point at, well, once every like 15 minutes or so. And the crystals we're actually going to be using to rank up with the city-state. So, actually, I'll go back over here so that I can actually introduce you to ranking up with the city-state. I can introduce you to the initial quests. That's going to be very important. There is a lot of story progress and rewards locked behind, making sure you at least get to rank 6. This guy gives you missions, and I am going to undertake my first mission, which is just to go to the Zeruhn Mines in the Mine District and collect a report from the Overseer. That is all we have to do. And fortunately, we actually have to run through pretty much all of Bastok to get there. So, A, I have time to explain things. B, you can grab all the home points along the way, as long as you grab that one right there. Zeruhn Mines, I believe at the entrance has some monsters you can kill to gain some initial levels. However, it also has monsters that are easy prey to level 99s, meaning that they are, you know, upwards of those higher levels. So the check feature is going to immediately be put into, well, check. So when we target a monster, we'll have the option to check them. If it says incredibly tough, do not engage most of the time, at least not until you have some other stuff, like a, oh, sorry, hold on, I just got an email from something that I just wanted to check. Okay, yeah, sorry, I had to check something. Yeah, we're gonna, until you have your trusts and an understanding of the game and how it works, you probably don't want to be messing with incredibly toughs, and we will get to that soon. Now, while we're running and grabbing all these home points, Records of Eminence is the next thing that you're going to want to know. So if you go to your menu and you press, so it'll open like this, press right, you'll see missions and quests at the top. Quests will track both your actual quests, if you have any, which as you can see, I don't. And also Records of Eminence. Records of Eminence are a mix of one-time and repeatable objectives that will unlock a lot of progression for you, a lot of bonus EXP, a lot of stuff that will just make your life easier and acts as a sort of tutorial when you're first getting into the game. So for example, first step forward, speak to one of the following Records of Eminence guides. It tells you where each of them is. Isakoth is in Bastok Market, so we have to walk by there anyway. So we're going to do this on the way. It gives you their exact location and coordinates and their name, so that's all we're going to really need to know when we get over to the markets. Now, there are also other categories, but we have to do that one first. You are going to want to very, very frequently be messing around with your Records of Eminence to make sure that you have something active pretty much all the time. There are just so many things behind it. It's how you're going to make gil as a new player. It's how you're going to get equipment as you get to the higher levels. It's literally like the bread and butter thing you have to be regularly checking and engaging with. So we're going to head over to the Bastok markets. I have no idea how long this recording is yet, by the way, but to think I've done literally nothing and the recording is already as long, it's like 30 minutes already. I'm here to, this will be, you know what? I think I'll title this video, First Step Forward Final Fantasy XI Let's Play 2025 Edition. So, something new that they've added is the ability to skip cutscenes when you zone into areas. A lot of this game's story is kind of just randomly dispersed in city-states. Like, you'll step into a zone, and it'll be like, oh, you know, here's the start of the Secrets of Adolin story. Here's the start of this story. And you're just like, why am I being thrown all these cutscenes? So, now you can choose to skip them. I do kind of recommend skipping them until you're ready to actually do the MSQ for said expansion. Seekers of Adolin was the last paid expansion for 14 in 2013. So we're going to skip that so we don't actually have to do it. And it will then explain to you that you can go to the Tales beginning, which it marked on my map, and go there if you ever want to see the cutscene and actually start it. There are some magic shops here in Bastok. If you did start as a mage and you started in Bastok, they are right here, so I highly recommend grabbing them. I believe there is also a home point not far. Yes. And we are going to keep going. Now, Issaquah is pretty close to the exit to Gustaberg, kind of similar to where we just were with the gate before. So we're going to make our way over there. Man, if I had... I think the beret has auto regen and auto refresh. Oh, that would be so nice at these early levels. I think it also has like increased skill up rate, which is really important. Trust me, the beret and the shirt will make your initial experience much easier than mine is about to be. I'm also foregoing pulling items from my other characters. I can pull a lot of really OP stuff from my other character. I'm not going to do that for this because then I literally won't have to do anything. Like, I'll just be OP the entire time. So, what's the fun in that? I'm just not going to do it. Let's see. You know what's funny? You don't always start in the port, I'm pretty sure. I think I got lucky and started in the port. Because when I first started Final Fantasy XI back in the day, I started in the mines, actually, in Bastok Mines. And then another character, I'm pretty sure I started here. I'm pretty sure the starting zone is random. Unless they changed it to always be the port. That I'm unsure of, but either way, doesn't really matter too much. You'll have to go through and do all of this anyway, eventually. All right, so Issaquah should be over here. There's a home point over here you're going to want to collect, regardless. So let's get over there. There is one... Oh, I just remembered what one of the things I wanted to turn on was. Where is it? Font colors, miscellaneous, character information, shadows, weather effects. Where is it? I want to show timers under my skills. Key assignment, macro palette, dynamic, static, animation, frame rate. No. Weapon effects, style lock, area display, party icon display, timer display. That's the one I missed. Yeah, that way I can actually see how long my buffs are. So you can see people just spamming items over here. They're spamming their bead pouches from stuff they've been doing. All right, so here's Issaquah. Talk to him, everyone's going to disappear. We're going to get a quick cutscene explaining his feature. This NPC will be very important to you. Attention, my name's Issaquah, and for today's lesson, we're going to learn about... Impart to me your knowledge. That's the spirit. You're an adventurer in my spitting image, at least when it comes to passion. Yeah, I definitely don't look like you. Today's lesson is all about records of Eminence, so break out your textbook and turn to page 5. Is that? If you've forgotten your textbook, you'll have to share with the person next to you. Hello, doll. Let's get this show on the road. Records of Eminence is, in a word, fighting spirit. So what if that's 2 words? This illustrates my point all the more. Adventurers need to give in 80,000% at all times if they want to uphold justice. Class dismissed. Now get out there and do me proud. Yes, sir. Can't fool me just by assenting to everything I say. That's not how education works. You'll never walk the path of enlightenment behaving like that. To tell the truth, though, you're already well on your way to prominence. You even completed your first objective simply by talking to me. Furthermore, my experience tells me you'll be rewarded with some unusual type of compensation. Now take the next step on your journey and try setting an objective all by yourself. No need to break out in a sweat. Your eminent teacher will guide you. Just choose an objective under the objective list in your Records of Eminence section of the Quests menu. Here you can even repeat certain quests. I'll let you figure out which ones they are on your own, though. I wouldn't want you to just regurgitate the answers I give you now, would I? Like I hinted at before, you gain sparks of eminence that quantify your achievements. Trade them to me, and I'll give you back some tokens of gratitude. Whoa now. I teach more advanced subjects than you're able to understand at the moment. Try talking to Goldago to learn the basics first. By the way, this little bugger here, which we call a memorandal, records all of your eminent feats for you. Oh? Yes, I too sometimes become unsettled by its constant and intense glaring. Luckily, all you need to do is clap your hands together like so, and it vanishes into thin air. So even if the soulless machination possesses a fighting spirit, how else could it disappear instantaneous like that? Just kidding. I'm only trying to cover up the fact that I don't really know how it works. As my mentor always said, when you don't know the answer to a question, distract the person with a joke. Well, I've officially taught you all I know. Go out into the world with your trusty memorandal and prove how esteemed you truly are. I always get a little teary-eyed when I see my disciples go off to bigger and better things. Hey, he clapped and it came back. Alright, so that will give us our first step forward, which now also begins unlocking limited time records of Eminence. So, limited time records of Eminence are quests that are not part of your current objective. Well, they are, but they don't count. I don't think they count towards your cap. And it rotates every 4 hours. So, like, sometimes, like, collect a certain item, kill a certain type of enemy. 3 times a week, I believe it is. It's even just straight up gain experience points, which, when that's around, you really want to get out there and level. Because not only is that going to be giving you a lot of extra experience points just for gaining experience points, but it's also going to give you tons of sparks, and sparks are going to be how you make gil. Before I explain that, let's activate some things. Undertake FOV field training. So we need to take on the trading regimen. We're going to do that. Heal without using magic. We can do that right now because I'm missing health. That's just the /heal command or L3 on the controller. I am playing the controller. Vanquish one enemy. Ambuscade we cannot do. Alter Ego we'll be able to do soon enough, so I'll grab that one. The Amontrove we won't be able to do for 45 more days. So we're not going to worry about that one. And then there's also the assist channel. I'm not going to do that one right now. Quests. We're not going to really be able to do many of these quests right now. We will be able to do this. This requires level 5, so we'll have to do that at some point. Anytime you unlock any of the jobs, you're going to want to come in here. This will give you some bonuses, artifact quests, level cap increases, storage expansions, weapon skills, individual missions. We're going to have to do 1-1 in a second here, so might as well activate that. And then once we do a few of the basics, we're going to get options to do a handful of other things that are incredibly useful. The big one is going to be the drops section, which is not here. I didn't actually realize that the drops did not become available immediately. So basically, there's ones that's just like, oh, you know, if you get certain drops, then, you know, we'll give you bonus XP. And I think we might need to do a couple more things before that one's going to work. But first, heal. So if you're ever just missing health, and you're wondering, how can I get it back without a regen or something like that? You literally type /heal or press L3, and you'll go into this kneeling stance, and after, I wouldn't say a short time, but after some time, then you'll regenerate a tick of HP and a tick of MP. The longer you stay resting, the more HP and MP you get back per tick. And that can be quite useful. So that's already got me at level 2. Between the two things, I've got 300 and 500. They also told me to go talk to Goldago here. You can see another new player right there. My station is to help along with those new to life of the adventure of Vanadil. I specialize in the types of fundamental knowledge necessary for successful endeavors, as well as related methods of pedagogy. Pedagogy? Pedagogy. With my aid, you can rest assured that your first steps down the adventurer's path will not go astray. Should you still consider yourself a newcomer, I would highly recommend making full use of my services. This is my permanent post and I never leave it. I don't think I need anything from him. Go talk to Rabid Wolf over yonder and have him cast Signet on you. Yeah, so he just gives you a lot of the basics that I'm also going to be giving you. So, yeah, I already had Signet cast on me, so we are going to keep moving on. We also got some meat jerky. This gives you some bonus strength and attack, so when you're first going out there into the world, it can be quite useful. Really? Oh, here we go. I think doing that, yeah, so doing that first bit actually unlocks them. Oh, I was in tutorial. I'm so stupid. I was in tutorial. So, we're not done. Vanquish multiple enemies. Turn that on. That is repeatable. Level sync, we're not going to need that. Deal, what is that? 10 to 20 damage. We'll probably activate this one too. We probably don't need the other ones. Total damage activated. Total damage taken activated. Weapon skills activated. All of these, like, non-repeatable ones. The total healing is kind of weird because I'm not going to be doing a lot of healing early, but when I eventually start doing healing, it'll be handy. And then spoils. So let's see. We have worms. We have bees. And we have lizards. So I think these three are good. So the guide does tell you which spoils are good to turn on, by the way. These other ones are also good, but we're not going to worry about those. Bat wings are good. I believe flintstones and lizard skin. Zeruhn suit is also one that I could turn on since I'm going to be heading over to Zeruhn Mines here in a second. And then there's also combat in certain areas. As I go to areas, those will become available. You probably won't use too many of them, but they are an option. There's also content here, which we can't really do. This is mostly endgame related stuff, so we'll have to come back to that a bit later. This is all stuff that will be, you know, way, way down the line. Job levels are in here as well. So, like, Thief, I don't have to take it now. It's not really that big of a deal, but worth considering. There's also Vobiversary stuff that's way too complicated for me to go through and explain. And daily objectives. Obviously, I can't really heal for 500, and I don't have any buffs, but still worth considering. And then there's monthly objectives as well, which is a whole nother thing that I wouldn't worry about too much if I were you. We are going to grab this home point. We can see quite a few question marks. So if you're worried about being one of very few new players, don't worry too much. There's usually new people filtering in, whether or not they're new characters that people who are existing are already playing, or brand new people. It's usually a pretty decent mix, especially on Asura, especially on Bahamut, which, speaking of which, since I'm sure you're curious, it is currently a Sunday night, and there are 1,561 characters online right now. So, pretty busy at the moment. That's far more than I thought it was going to be, in all honesty. So we are going to make our way over to the mines here. We'll get there. Don't worry. This is installed on my SSD. I mean, it always takes long to load the zone lines, but I am questioning whether or not I have it installed on my SSD. I don't even know if Final Fantasy XI could even utilize that very well. It's really more the way the game is built and not, you know, the technology that it was built for. So, we are in the mines. Where we need to go is actually behind me, but we're going to go grab all those home points. I just like to make a point of grabbing all the home points immediately, just so I don't have to think about it later, you know? You're going to have to get familiar with a lot of these areas, too. A lot of these NPCs will be part of story or optional quests on the side later. So if you've at least seen them once, you might remember them later down the line. Probably not, but you might. Oh, there's another new person, see? Pletse. Pletse and Aha No No. Aha No No sounds like what you say when somebody tells you need to install Play Online. No, no, no. So we can go up right here, and that will allow me to... Oh, no, not right here. Right here. There's a little hallway open in one of these. Right here somewhere. There it is. It's crazy to think that it's been this long and I haven't fought a single enemy yet, because there's just things to do first. I haven't even shown you everything. I briefly went over to the login NPC. There are login points per month, So every month you get a certain amount of login points. Like I think you get 500 for the first login that month, and then 100 per day. But I think you carry over 1,500 on any, or you carry over 1,500 or 1,000 or something on any given month. But login points, there's a few decent things you can get. I actually think you can get an ECAD ring through the login points if memory serves. A lot of people use them for chances at King Behemoth. King Behemoth drops a defending ring, which is incredibly useful of an item, and it's incredibly rare. Not nearly as rare as it used to be, but, you know, it's still not a very high drop rate. So people will normally spend their login points on that to try to get a defending ring. So it's up to you. Now, Bounty Box is something that is interesting. So every day you log in, you will accrue what is called a daily like tab. Oh, no, tab is a different one. You'll get a daily currency, and you can come to Bounty Box to exchange it. Now, unfortunately, Bounty Box is another only after 45 days can you use it feature. They do that so people don't spam make new characters just to gamble at the NPCs. So that's why there's like these random like 45-day restrictions on certain things. The Amon Trove is another thing I mentioned earlier. That also has it. Now, survival guides are just like home points to a degree. They have a handful of things that they do, but you're going to want to always speak to survival guides because you can teleport between those, just like I'm going to be teleporting between the home points themselves. So I think we got the 3 home points here. This is the auction house, by the way. If you ever need to buy anything, we'll be coming back to that at a later point because the auction house requires its own explanation. You may use it early on, but we'll see. It's got a handful of uses. Now, on the way to this next quest objective, there's one big thing I got to tackle, and that is inventory. By default, you only have 30 inventory spaces in your main item, well, inventory. Now, you do get access to more. You do have a Mog safe at your Mog house, so there's Mog houses where, you know, you go in. That can store up to 50 items. There's also storage, which I believe scales with furniture. Like, as you put furniture in the house, it increases the storage value. There's a locker, there's a satchel, there's a sack, and there's a case. The case acts as just a bonus 80 inventory. I don't remember if there's anything required to access this because I've had it for so long. The satchel basically is double your inventory, which, as you can see, I have access to already. The locker is a part of Treasures of Aught or Gone. So you're going to need to get to that expansion before you can access it, and then you will have to do some quests in order to expand it. You do also have Mog wardrobes, which by default you should have access to the first 2. This is where you'll be storing most of your equipment. For example, all of the equipment I have on right now, let's just take it all off. Just get naked. Yeah, there we go. I obviously won't get naked because, as I mentioned earlier, I have that feature. Then we'll go into the Mog wardrobe and we'll drop everything in there. These have 80 inventory slots each. And I can do all of my equipment from there. So we now go in. When we go to our inventory, if we click the slot a second time, we can pull from the Mog wardrobe. And that will probably help your inventory a lot early on. I think there's 2 Mog wardrobes by default, if memory serves, and then the rest of them require a monthly subscription. So that's 160 inventory slots of just equipment. Definitely recommend making use out of those, because that 30 inventory, there's a quest to expand it, and it will subsequently expand your Mog case, but it's kind of a pain, especially when you're brand new. So, here in the Zeruhn Mines, we're here just to find the Overseer. Now, the Overseer is surrounded by some pretty high-level mobs, but there should be some low-level mobs here at the entrance. First, grab the survival guide. That's important. And then you have Grounds Tomes. Grounds Tomes will basically act as mini quests that you can do out in the field. So if we look at page 1 will have me fighting 3 dingbats. Target level range is 1, 2, 3. We can grab that, set it to auto-repeat, and now when we kill every 3 dingbats we kill, that will automatically complete. And that'll give us some bonus EXP. That'll give us a currency that we can use to buy buffs out in the field. It's very, very useful. So, as you can see, we're going to beat the heck out of these dingbats real quick. Now, I do have my numbers. I have my numbers set to both. For some reason, I thought I had my numbers set to both. Hold on. Monitoring damage display. I do. Huh. Why did both not work? Maybe it's because it's being hidden in my logs? Huh. That's weird. Maybe it's because I have a filter? Let me turn these off. There we go. Yeah, filters were getting in the way of that. So, never a bad idea just to attack a few mobs. So, as you can see, we very much immediately vanquished one enemy, 500 XP. The monster itself gave 200, dropped a wind crystal. I got progress towards, damage dealt 10 to 20. I got the spoils wind crystals. I got vanquished multiple enemies, both the daily and the full one. So yeah, Records of Eminence will very quickly pay dividends. Especially when we eventually get to dealing with some other stuff later, when we get to talking about Unity and stuff like that. Now, keep in mind, you do need to skill up pretty much everything manually. Again, the Destrier... I think it's the Destrier Beret that makes it easier. But every time you, like, swing your weapon, every time an enemy swings at you, it, you know, takes a look at the level of your skill versus the level of the opponent that you're facing, and effectively goes like, oh, hey, you know... I'm going to give you a skill up because, you know, the enemy level was higher than your skill. I'm giving you a very rudimentary, but effectively attacking enemies and being attacked will increase evasion skill, parry skill, guard skill, in my case, dagger skill, whatever combat art you're using. Every one of your magic skills also needs to be leveled. That will help determine its accuracy. That will help determine its power. So it's very important to stay up to date on that kind of stuff because it will make your life much, much easier. I also recommend taking a little bit of time to do this on the first few enemies early, largely because once you get trusts, it kind of goes crazy. Your trusts will really accelerate your leveling process by a massive amount, to the point where for a while you're going to feel behind on your weapon skills. It's going to be like that for a little bit, especially if you're a magic user, but it just is what it is. So, we completed the objective to kill 3 of them. The regiment began anew. We got 90 gil, 90 experience, and 9 tabs. Tabs we're going to be able to use for a number of things, one of which is to be able to use those survival guides and to teleport around, although we can use gil as an option. Now, if you're in the Zeruhn Mines, nothing down here is going to aggro me, but now all of the enemies that aren't dingbats will insta-kill me if I attack them. They're all level 99. They're all dangerous, but they're all passive, so I don't actually need to worry about them killing me. I just need to, well, not get hit by them. So my goal is to get out of here at level 5. I'm level 3, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually complete this quest. We're going to go back. We're going to kill more of those dingbats until we hit level 5, and then that's going to allow us to get trusts. You actually just saw somebody with trusts right there. This isn't the NPC. This NPC is next to something else, if I recall. Yeah. You want to waste time talking to us miners, don't you? Yeah, I don't remember what the guy's name is. I just remember he's in a little bit deeper. Now, by default, you also don't have maps for locations. Fortunately, you can actually buy maps relatively early on. You can buy a few of them in your city-state, but I think once you get to, like, Selbina, Muhara, or Juno... I know Juno definitely has, like, almost every map in the game. But you can effectively start to buy all the other maps later on. So you're probably going to be mass spending gil on those. So again, getting your Records of Eminence early, getting those sparks early is very, very important. I'm probably not going to have enough sparks by the end of this video to show you what to actually buy the item that you normally sell, but I will go back to Issakoth and actually show you the correct item. Alright. And don't worry, this is just me trying to remember where the heck to go. It's been a while, so I'm not always perfect when it comes to this knowledge. I just remember running in further and then eventually finding it and then running back out. As long as we don't attack anything, we will be fine. Fortunately, those guides do give you pretty good resources to finding all this stuff so that it's not too bad. We reopened the Zeruhn Mines here after the Quadab took Palbra. I think it's the other way around. I think this way leads to a quest that I had to do for the MSQ, and the other direction leads to the Overseer, who we can then give the notes to. I remember him kind of like standing up on like a taller ledge, kind of like that one miner that was, I think, down this way. Yeah, the one guy who was off on the side over here. That guy, yeah. He's like up on one of those like elevated sections. But it's not too uncommon to see people who are like getting to the higher levels to come in here. I think this person, based on who they have in their party, I think they are relatively new-ish. They don't have their new player symbol anymore. But I think they are relatively new-ish because most people don't use a lot of those unless they are somebody who is newer. I think those are the majority of the tutorial ones. Which there's a lot of tutorial and like early level trusts. So you have a pretty decent option. Your Unity trust, which I don't remember what level you picked that up, but I'll be sure to give that a peek before a future video. Just so I remember. Okay, it's definitely not this way. I remember that. I swear it was back the way I was. It was just an NPC that I didn't see because I was distracted by all the trust. Oh, there is a way to turn off seeing other people's trusts, too. There is a chat command for it. So that way, that exact situation I just described doesn't happen. It's like, see how I can see all those person's trusts? There is a command that you can type to undo that. Disturb Dirt is actually where the other quest was. So I was also incorrect about that. This person's been killing these mobs. Ah, Shantoto 2, the classic. Yeah, Shantoto 2 OP. If Shantoto 2 is ever available when you're playing, get her. So, fortunately, we also do have wide scans, so we can actually see where all the NPCs are. There is one over here. I don't think he's the guy. So, as you can see, even I still get lost. Yep. You know how many times I've played this game and I still get lost? Just think about that. Valinero, I always forget this, but Valinero got Omega buffed some time ago. It's been a pretty long time since he's been buffed at this point. He is probably going to be your premier tank. He's really dangerous to use if you're just running around and attacking groups of mobs, because he pretty much AoEs on hit, but he does insane damage. Like, straight up, he will probably one-shot a lot of the early mobs that you fight. And then even after that, like, he'll probably just do work. And you can actually trigger him to do it multiple times as well. I thought for sure it was Macaron. Does it say in the quest? I don't remember. Wait, I just realized. Oh, no, this is a mission, right? Yeah, it's Macaron. So I was going the right way. I just didn't see it. Yeah, God, what's the command for turning off trusts? Let me just check real quick. Just to turn them off visually. Hide trust? Is that it? Yeah, I think it's just that. I think it's just hide trust. There's another one that I'm thinking. Oh, no. The other one I'm thinking of is how you dismiss them all at once. Display of other players' alter egos is currently enabled. So let's turn that off. There. Now that won't happen anymore. I think that's what happened. I think they were standing close to Macaron, and I just thought that it was them. And it wasn't. Because, like, I was like, I know he's down this way. But then I was like, no, I guess I'm wrong. Willing to accept that. But then I was right anyway. So I was wrong. I was wrong about being... I was right about being wrong? Wrong about being right? I was right about being right, but I was wrong to think I was wrong. There we go. Yeah, see? It was right here. I just got so distracted by that. He was pretty far off, but... Be careful on your way out. Yeah, so now we need to go to the Metalworks, which is the last zone in Bastic. But like I said, we should get to level 5. The main reason why we want to get level 5 is because of our Records of Eminence. We get our alter ego quests at level 5. So while I'm running on my way back, let me grab the quest for that. Obtain an alter ego Bastic. There we go. That way I just don't forget to do it later. We're going to want those. We're going to want those big time. Now, for crystals, these are used in crafting, but these are also used as a currency. They're used for a number of quests, and if you have excess of them, you can sell them on the auction house. we are going to be using them to rank up very, very quickly. You can also then exchange extra in order to get some conquest points. I don't remember what the ratio on those is. I don't remember it being fantastic, but the quicker you can get to 5,000 initially, the better. It doesn't really take that long to get to 5,000. I'm at 54 after killing like 3 mobs, so it's not going to take that long, but it is what it is. Usually a good idea. We probably kill like 3 more bats, and that probably does the trick. We probably get to level 5 off of that. It's funny because for the original 2014 Let's Play, I took like, I think it's like a 2-hour-long video of me getting to Leaping Lizzie, so I don't do any of these explanations. So it's funny to me to be doing them now, because it's just a huge dichotomy from the way I did it before, right? It's just a very, very different way of handling what is... I mean, the game's a lot different. It's been 11 years since I did the original Let's Play series. But even still, like, it's just the demeanor with which I am now presenting it compared to that. Got to level 4. Go down here. So I have no extra abilities pretty much other than Perfect Dodge. Perfect Dodge can only be used once every hour. I, however, did just get my level 5. I got it from dealing 10 to 20 damage, it looks like. Yeah, first time bonus, give you 900 sparks, 2,500 EXP. I haven't got a Batwing, which is a progress towards the spoils. Might as well get to level, level 6 even. Yeah, so that's what I mean. You kind of just shoot ahead. I kind of want to have a weapon skill, though. But other than... So now I have Steel. Steel, not super useful at this point. There are some things that are worth stealing a little bit later. It does have its use, but not in these really low-level things. By getting dagger skill ups, though, I will get my first weapon skill, which I believe is Wasp Sting, if memory serves. And that will give me something to do in combat that isn't just auto-attack. Granted, you will be doing a lot of auto-attacking, so don't think you're doing anything wrong. Even if you're a mage, while I do recommend casting a lot of spells, especially if you have the helm, because that'll give you auto-refresh, so you don't have to worry about your MP. Not to mention you'll be leveling up so frequently, you probably won't be worried about MP anyway. You're also going to be doing a lot of meleeing, so it's still useful for that. Meat jerky as well. So now we can make our way over to the metalworks. That is all the way back in the markets. So we can walk. We also do have the option of taking a home point to the closest home point there. I think it's going to ask me if I want to. Nope. So do you want to view Rhapsodies of Vana'diel? So Rhapsodies of Vana'diel, the answer should actually be yes. Rhapsodies of Vana'diel was the game's swan song before they did the follow-up called Voracious Resurgence, and it is one of the most useful quests that you can do alongside your adventure. I'm not going to pick it up yet, but it is something that you want to be doing as soon as possible. It will make a lot of your early game much easier. It comes with tons of bonus XP, the ability to summon additional trusts. It gives you easier access to certain zones that you might not otherwise get access to as easily, like Nord, for example. It's a must-do, even though you'll obviously be doing it a little out of order. I'm not going to do any major story quests here for this first part because I want to focus on the basics, but we will be picking up Rhapsodies in the second part because of how vital it is, especially before we go out into the world and actually start exploring. Because once we go out into the world, ideally, you don't want to leave the starting city too far until you are certain that you are going to run all the way to either the port city of Selbina or the port city of Muhara, or the port town, just the port. The main reason being is that those areas are so central to a lot of the locations you're going to need to go, and it's where you'll unlock your sub-job. And if you have Rhapsodies active, you can get an easier sub-job quest there than the normal one. Not that it's that hard to do, but still. Looks like somebody using the assist channel asking for a problem with Sandoria 3-1. Got the report. Gate guard tells me to talk to Piuge, but the door is locked. Unfortunately, I do not know that quest off the top of my head. So, I've been getting some Sparks of Eminence, and I did mention that you are going to want to spend those in order to make Gil. So, what is it that you are going to be spending on it to make Gil? Well, as you can see, I can spend what looks to be 100,000 in a given week. And the main thing you are going to be looking for is you're going to go down to, in fact, let me start over so I can just show it to you from the get-go. You're going to want to go to 71 to 98. You're going to want to scroll all the way down and go to next page. And then you're going to want to go down a little bit. Is it next page again? Acheron Shield. Oh, no, here they are. So on the third page, you'll get access to the Acheron Shield. The Acheron Shield costs 2,755 sparks. It vendors for just about 10 times that, so about 27,000 gil. So every week you can spend up to 100,000 sparks on these shields and earn 1,000,000 gil per week. This isn't the only currency you can do this with. There's actually another currency from an NPC not like literally 2 steps from here that allows you to do a similar exchange, but it's far more annoying to do than this one. So I would only do that if you absolutely need to. That being said, sparks are also a great way for you to pick up some early game equipment. I'm level 6 now. I've got some level 1 equipment. But if I want to pick up a level 7 dagger, this blind dagger, for example, it doesn't do any additional damage, but it has blindness on it, then I could. Or I could pick up the blind knife. Realistically, you probably add like 1 item or 1 set of armor per every, I don't know, 10-ish levels is what I always did personally. So, for example, this dagger is 60. It's level 12, so I'll be level 12 in no time, so I could just pick that. I could also just wait till 13 and get the knife. You know, not that big of a deal. The Basilard is level 18, but is the same damage, has a slightly lower delay. So you're basically just going to be picking up weapons and armor as you feel like you need them here. That's going to be your best bet. So on top of the equipment, on top of the weapons, there are also actual pieces of equipment, really just left side pieces here. So like, I call them left side because of Final Fantasy XIV, but like head, body, hands, legs, boots, basics like that. Really good to have the bonus defense, not super crucial, but there are some equipment pieces at the higher levels that are also incredibly useful. If you have the Destro helmet and Chocobo shirt, that's 2 less pieces you need to worry about until after level 30, because those pieces are way too good to not use. I do have everything except the headpiece because, like I said, I don't have those pieces because of where I'm at. So I am going to pick up, it actually looks like there is no Thief face guard at level 10. Which is hilarious. Oh no, here it is, headgear. I just had to scroll down. Yeah, headgear at level 11. So I'm going to pick that up because I will probably want at least a headpiece. You don't, usually your trusts will be tanking, so you don't end up needing too much. Like, I wouldn't go nuts and be like, oh, every 10 levels I got to upgrade this and that. Your trusts are going to really make that early experience super smooth. So whenever you need gil, feel free to spend on the Acheron Shield as long as you still have sparks that can be spent for that week. You will get enough sparks to actually begin doing those exchanges quite quickly. And if you do need equipment, then it's not that bad, especially if you happen to play during Gain EXP. Gain EXP is notorious for effectively capping out a lot of people's sparks in a given time frame. So if you happen to be playing while that's there, then be sure to make use of it because it's a very quick infusion of gil, very quick infusion of levels, and you also have spare in order to actually grab anything that you need equipment-wise from that. There is also equipment from some quests. There's equipment from notorious monsters out in the field. In fact, my original Let's Play in 2014 was a mission that was solely focused around getting to Leaping Lizzie, who is just outside the gates here of Basta, and obtaining the Leaping Boots, which are now the Bounding Boots. They have been the Bounding Boots. They were the Bounding Boots when I recorded that as well, which was one of the most notorious pieces of equipment a low-level player could pick up and are useful for quite some time. I will probably take a detour and a pit stop out there to see if I can spawn Leaping Lizzie, but I'm not going to stress getting the Bounding Boots for the sake of this playthrough. It's not the goal. In fact, the entire series last time basically came to exist strictly so I could get a pair of Bounding Boots to drop, because I had gone all my life without really getting a pair to drop, and I wanted my revenge. And it took 2 videos to get said revenge. So for Metalworks, you're going to have to use these like elevators, I suppose I'll call them. They slowly go up and down on each side. You just gotta wait till one's on your level and then go. After this early spot, you'll probably seldom use them because you'll just be using the home points to teleport anyway, unless you really like walking, which, you know, if you played Final Fantasy XI, you probably do really like walking. So make sure we grab home point numero uno over here, and then we can talk to Naji right there. And he will give us our next cutscene. This area is off limits to... Oh, you brought the report from the Zeruhn Mines. I'll take that. This was your first mission, wasn't it? Good work. Normally we... Sir Lucius, how may I help you? Naji, you mentioned a report? Yes, sir. This adventurer just brought the last one. I was going to bring them all up to you later, sir. Show it to me. So more and more Galka are starting to believe in their Tailkeeper's return. The Tailkeeper, sir? And I thought that was just some Galkan myth, sir. If that were only true. I've received reports that the Tailkeeper is already back among them. These reports, keep bringing them to me, Naji. We would not want to bother the President with such trivial... I don't know why he has a completely different accent. Yes, sir! As for you, adventurer, you've done well. Stock needs more people like you. I'm gonna lighten up on his accent a little bit. Honestly, I will use that voice for someone else. Lucius is not gonna be here. Like, he's not, like, present enough for me to care. Wow, not many people get to speak to Sir Lucius after their first mission. He must see something in you. Keep up the good work. Damn right. So, because we had the Bestock mission 1-1 available, that gave 900 sparks and 8 lightning crystals. He will have another quest, very likely immediately. So, if you go to accept quests, Naji doesn't give them, Maldek does. Geological Survey, another important one. This one is a classic. We have to go talk to Sid, who is fortunately right next to us, which is why I recommend grabbing that one immediately. And we can grab the Records of Eminence. Now keep in mind, if you complete a quest and you don't have the Records of Eminence available, and it is a major quest, like it's a story quest, you can technically redo them, but it would be a pain. It retroactively counts it as complete. So if in fact, I could show you after this. I can make this the last thing I do in the video. So if I go to tutorial and I go to, where was that even? I go to missions and I go to Bastok. There's 1-2, that's Geological Survey. I'm not going to accept it. After I complete it, I can choose to accept it. Maybe I should do that in the next video. I just have to remember that I'm doing it, because I've already been recording this for like an hour and 20 minutes. Or almost an hour and 20 minutes. Oh, so Sid's teeth are its like own character, so my voice for Sid is not a serious one. It's, I'm a little busy right now. Yeah, I'm Sid. Yeah, you're here about the mission. Right. I was expecting you. Hey, Rybot, bring the thingamajig over here. This is only your second mission, huh? Most of the young ones in Bastok don't have the guts to go adventuring, so I'm counting on you. Do your best here. Well, this mission's not all that tough. You just have to go out. Rybot, old buddy, if you brought the thing, don't just stand there, say something. I brought the thing. If you don't quit that, I'm gonna start calling you Silent Mountain or something. You would not, Chief. You are not like the others. That is why I work for you. Sheesh. I like the guy. He works hard. He's thorough in his research and all. But if only he was a little more talkative, you know? Anyway, here's what I want you to do. Take this blue acidity tester to the Dangrif Wadi near South Gustaberg. Try to find a place in the Wadi where this blue acidity tester changes color. That's all. What's it for? Well, in order for you to understand, I'd have to give you some lessons on the accrual patterns of sediments in the Wadi and the formation of gas pockets in the soil. You get a blank expression on your face. I know. You didn't become an adventurer to study geology, right? Don't worry, it's nothing dangerous, so get going. Yes. I like to say I talk through my teeth. For Sid. His teeth, like I said, his teeth are their own character. Listen, Sid, I just got a dental implant to replace an old crown that just honestly wasn't holding up super well. I get it. I get what it's like to have them big old teeth. So, Dangraf Wadi is not too far out of the way, but in order to get there, I do have to leave town. I mentioned earlier how ideally when you leave town, it's kind of a one-way trip. Your initial missions, I should say, are the caveat to that. You want to slowly accrue levels as you complete your first few missions because they are normally local to your city-state. While yes, it will be important to go get your sub-job quest, it will be important to go get more home points to explore out in the world. By law of just how close you are to everything at the start, it's a pretty good idea to at least get anything that requires you to do quests locally. Now, in a perfect world, you do actually get... I should have taken the home point thing. Hold on. You do actually get a decent number of levels. You can get all the way to like 25, 30 before you ever really start setting foot out into the more dangerous areas. Now, you don't have to do this, but I'm one of those people that... You ever play like an RPG, and you get to a town, and every quest in the area you try to do before you leave? I'm that guy. So, for me, this is kind of just in that same vein. And as such, I'm going to go do that. So, by going to this home point, I actually want to go back to the port. The main reason being is that we have to unlock our trusts. And we definitely want to do that because it will make our initial adventures much easier. Fortunately, I believe it's free to use your home points within the same city-state. So, like, that one was free. I only have 243 gil, and that was free. So, pretty sure that's the case. And at the port exit will be this NPC right here, Clarion Star. And now that we're above level 5, we can talk to Clarion Star and start our trusts. Hey, you there! I got a proposition of sorts for a fresh-faced adventurer such as yourself. You can call me Clarion Star. I've come from Juneau, the lovely city in the northeast that connects Quan and Medarsha continents. Specifically, I'm a representative of sorts from the Juneau Institute of Magical Studies. They call me a headhunter. Bah, the heads I'm hunting are those bright-eyed explorers like yourselves. But here's the deal. Not too long ago, the Institute held an international symposium of sorts, in which we announced the development of a fascinatingly useful new type of magic. We made it available for everyone to utilize, so we're trying it out here in Bastok and other places throughout Vanadil. We've chosen to call the new magic Trust, and as an official delegate of the Institute, I want adventurers of your caliber to be the lucky first participants. So, what about it? Want to try it out? What have I got to lose? That's the kind of spunk I like. You're surely aware that Bastok is no stranger to developing new technologies, and as such, Sid and the Mithril Musketeers are conducting research of sorts into the application of this new magic. You know how they're always at odds with the Beastman Confederate? They think that the trust magic might be able to help bolster their forces, they say. However, not just anyone can use trust. As you can imagine, the Institute is thus collecting data of sorts in Sandoria and Winders, too, trying to get as many people as possible to participate. It should come as no surprise, then, that we have other representatives in those two nations. If you'd rather head over there, then I've got nothing more to discuss. But I'm sure the Mithril Musketeers here would appreciate any help you could give them. Let's cut to the quick. Helping them earns you the aid of a powerful warrior of sorts, which can only help you in your travels. Of course! If that's the case, let's get right to it. Before we go any further, let me give you this. Your first task of sorts is to speak with Naji of the Mithril Musketeers and the Metalworks. He can guide you further. So ideally, I would have picked this up before going to talk to Naji. I would have had to teleport here and then go, but honestly, it doesn't really use too much time. He's just explaining how to get to Naji at this point. So, this is going to unlock trusts. Now, I mentioned earlier that there is login points. I mentioned that there are some useful things in there. One that I forgot to mention is that there are trusts in there, and those rotate seasonally. Sometimes there's really insane ones like Shantoto 2. If Shantoto 2 is available, grab it immediately. It is genuinely like one of the best trusts you can pick up and will invalidate like so much of the struggle that you could potentially go through. I will say for one particular Rhapsody's mission, it's also bait, but we'll get to that when it's relevant. I'm going to go check real quick. Since I'm already here and I'm just going to home point over to Naji anyway, we're going to want to go to the Greeter Moogle. That is where we will spend our login points. So we have 500. I don't remember how many points it is for each of them, so we're going to have to look through. We got some glam here. Or sorry, glam. We've got some exchangeable items here. We do have some glam here as well. All right. 300 point items. Let's take a look. Looks like we have some tracks. We have some glam. The Archangel pieces. I got some other glam here. Rem tails, we don't need those. 500, which is all I have at the moment. Sheet of Divine Tunes. Forgot about those. 750. Kitchen items, Rem's tails, higher chapters. I don't remember if there are any this month. Caliber ring and facility rings are pretty interesting. A patio for the Mog House. And 1,500. All right, so I don't see any right now. I'm going to check 10 points. I don't think they're in the 10-point category, but we're taking a look. All right, looks like there's none available right now. That's fine. We do want to make sure we use login points on trusts. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I need trusts available before that menu before it'll show. That's always possible because I think there's mounts and stuff. This is where we turn to Google. January 2025 login Final Fantasy 11. I guess we'll just go to oh, here we go. Login campaign commences. What do we have? What do we have? Sheet of Divine Tunes. Nope. I was correct. There aren't any. Wait, why did I walk away? I guess I was just so focused on trying to figure this out. Yep. Okay. Yeah, there are none. There are none right now. Okay. That settles that. So, we are going to want Valeniral, and we are going to want Kupipi relatively early, and those are going to require trips to the other city-states. Not that big a deal yet, but I do want to make mention of that. And there are some things with trusts that I need to mention as well that are important. I suppose, I'm about to do this cutscene. Like how I said I was about to end the video, but I don't want to end without finishing the trust magic thing. Come on. I believe we have the Call Forth an Alter Ego. Yes, we have that. Speak to Naji. I think he'll then ask us to talk to Ayame and a couple of others. Stupid thing is so damn complicated. Come on, Naji. It'll be easy, Naji. Why did I even agree to this? Who exactly volunteered me anyway? Now I've got someone bothering me. What is it? Why, Altana? Someone's actually come to me about this trust thing? Taking the buffalo by the horns, are we? I suppose I can find some time in my busy schedule. Let me be upfront with you. I've got absolutely no idea how this works. You told me something about trust and friendship, but what exactly is that supposed to mean? But if it works, you'll be able to summon an alter ego of me who will fight by your side. Let's be honest, who's better than me? There's a lot of people better than Naji. That's what I'm led to believe, anyway. Pretty amazing stuff. But I don't know you from a crying street urchin, so it probably won't work. Tough luck, kid. Iron Eater always called me dumb as a tree stump and simple as a wooden spear, but I'll have you know that I am both complex and intricate. Don't blame me if this fails. It's all on your head. Now concentrate, my compatriot. Focus on your feelings of trust and friendship. If you won't believe in me, then believe in the fact that I believe in you. Wait, what did I just say? Wait, this is all it took? That idiot Clarence Starr gave such a long explanation of sorts that I was ready to stand here for hours and hours. But I'll be damned if this doesn't feel good. Let's try it out. Hey, you little... Get back here! Phew, that could have ended very badly. At least I can control the thing. Now I can guard 2 doors at the same time. Wait, why am I getting excited about that? I am a quintessential warrior, number 5 in the Mithril Musketeer hierarchy. If I ever catch you referring to me as a doorman, I'll bite your head off. This doorman thing hits a little too close to home. I'm pumped and ready to go. Now to catch Ayame and tell her how I really feel. Yeah, I'm fine with this thing inheriting my talents, but some things are better kept under wraps. Now to keep her from getting me into trouble. Congratulations on your tremendous success. And before I forget, I gotta give you this. You earned it, pal. You can summon an alter ego of the strongest Mithril Musketeer, me, at any time. Give it a shake outside of town, maybe north or south Gustaberg, for instance. I'm sure you'll be more than pleased with the result. And far be it from me to confess my weakness, but I'm a bit curious as to whether it'll actually work. Come back to me once you've tried it out. So, he's now taught me trust magic. Ideally, I would actually use Naji, go complete the Dangrafwadi quest, and then immediately, and then come back and turn it in. You don't need any trusts to do the Dangrafwadi quest. You don't even have to fight to do the Dangrafwadi quest in any capacity. But I'm just going to step outside, come back in, get that done. I know it's a lot of maintenance work right out the get-go, but once you actually start running from zone to zone and fighting your way there, you'll probably spend a decent amount of time just getting every place to try to lock it all in. Alright, so now we can go into magic, and once it's actually loaded, there we go. And that gives me Valiniral's alter ego. Thank goodness for that. I thought I had to go to Sandoria for that one. I forgot you just got that for doing the call forth an alter ego. I do also have enough to buy a shield now if I need some gil. So, big thing about trusts. When you summon them, they will be summoned at the same level that you currently are. But every time you level up, they do not level up with you. In order to level them up, they have to be desummoned and resummoned. At the early levels, it doesn't really matter that much, especially because there's actually a cooldown on resummoning them. I can check it right now. I think it's 5 minutes. So if you do it too quickly, then you run into that problem. But you do want to resummon them at least semi-frequently, especially at the higher levels where one level higher is actually considerable. It's not going to show me the right cooldown because I zoned into town, I guess. But yeah, no, it does have a cooldown, so you do want to be careful. But you do need to resummon them. To quickly get rid of all of your trusts, you type /REFA all. I talked to him by accident, so I'm not going to bother typing it. Did my alter ego do me justice? Couldn't be happier. When you're working with a man like me, of course you'll get great results. Now you know why Iron Eater chose who he did. Be that as it may, if you need to learn more about trust, just go back and ask Clarion Star. He seems to show a lot about that stuff. Kept muttering something about latent potential and ongoing research or what have you. I wasn't really paying attention. What I did find interesting was that there are also people in other nations with their gaze trained on this program. The whole process confounds me, then it's no surprise that there are people out there trying to figure out how it works. But you don't need to cross the border to find out. Some other people in here, like Bastik, are participating, like Yame. She's number 4 in the Mithril Musketeers, and I doubt she'd let any old adventurer try out trust magic with her. You want me to ask her for you? No, I don't think that would be a good idea. Something else I must give you. This Bastik trust permit. There's nothing more you need from me here. You've got what you came for. Just make sure to treat my alter ego well, or I'll have to hunt you down and... you won't be happy when I find you. So obtain an alter ego. Bastik is now done. Now keep in mind, I did complete that alter ego quest. Call forth an alter ego. Now, you go on what is effectively a daisy chain of trust experiences. Hilariously enough. And I'm still getting EXP this whole time from all these records of Eminence that I'm doing. So now we go back to Clarion Star and we can use the Valiniral alter ego item. So this is kind of the annoying thing about trusts. The first one that we just got right there, Naji just gave it to us, right? We didn't have to really do anything. For not every single one from this point on, but for the majority of them, like 98% of them, we have to get a sheet like we just got for Valiniral, a cipher, and we have to bring it to any of the NPCs that are involved in the trust quests. So either this guy that I'm going to right now, Clarion Star, or effectively the similar person in the other 2 city-states. And when we do that, I don't know if I need to talk to him first. We trade it, and he will clap, he will touch his head, and then he will give us access to Valiniral. And now it's funny because Alter Ego Valeniral, the quest is going to be completed, and then I will get another one. So I do have to step outside and summon Valeniral, who will be a mainstay. Again, Valeniral, the only danger with him is if you're standing in a group of a ton of enemies, he can get you killed. But he's also crazy strong. He basically will solo heal himself too until you get Kupipi or somebody else who can heal. Or until the slightly higher levels. He's a monster. Like, he's still one that I use at endgame sometimes. So, I summon him. I think Melee is also a healer, if I'm not mistaken. Which is the one that they're giving me right now. So that's going to give me some sparks. That's going to give me some EXP. I think I hit level 7 off that. No, I'm like 17 HP off. I will hit level 7 from the next one, however. And this daisy chain happens for, I think, like 5 different trusts. And then same deal. You can just blast through the dialogue as fast as possible, thankfully. Okay. Gonna check my phone real quick. And guess what we do? We step outside. Yeah, it's silly. But listen, you'll be glad you did it. We're setting a foundation here. Come on. And that gives us access to Tenzin, who is really good for a starter. Zaid 2 is one that we'll be getting from Rhapsodies at some point. He's a very popular one as well. There's a lot of them that have very fringe uses that you can see. You'll see a pretty decent combination of them. Even some people just pick their favorites. As long as they're not doing anything that's too serious. Like they're just out like killing a few random monsters, blah, 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 you know. But they all have their own little quirks. Like I said, Valeniral has the AoE problem. There are some that take less magic damage. There are some that are just supports that focus on like different aspects. Some of the like casters will nuke with like either fire magic or lightning magic. Some of them are a bit more versatile. It's there's a whole lot of information on them, and it's just kind of, I wouldn't worry about it just yet. This is the basics right now. At least the first part. It won't be as long as... It won't be quite as long as the other part. Because we are going to stop as soon as I get... Tenzin summoned here. I think there's 2 more after Tenzin. There's Adelheid. And... I don't remember who the last one is. I think there's 5. I might be 5 including Naji. But... I don't remember. Yeah, I also need to do the Unity Concord stuff. Unity also comes with a trust. I don't know what the go-to Unity is anymore. Aparuru was really good for AoE healing. But and Yorin Orin, what was Yorin Orin good for? Yorin Orin was the other one. I think his spells have like an innate stone skin effect on them, but he doesn't really AoE heal. So I'm pretty sure that amongst them, I think most people are probably Aparuru early. But I don't know. It was normally between the 2 of them for new players. And then longtime players would normally take... I can't remember the other NPC, but they're a Geomancer. They would take the Geomancer NPC because they would have something like a really, really, like... Literally, there's a trust that takes like 6 months to get. Like, if you were to start working on it, like from the moment you start working on it, it would take 6 months. Joachim! Oh, Joachim is a staple. Oh, you're going to be using Joachim so much. He's a bard that occasionally heals. And bards are goated. Yeah, so you'll probably use... So you can only use 3 trusts initially. So it's going to be Valiniral, Tenzin, Joachim probably. Valiniral really shouldn't run out of MP or die unless you do really dumb stuff. And you get the 4th trust pretty quick, at which point it's probably melee that you'll be using. And that's assuming, of course, you don't have access to Shantoto 2, you don't have access to Zaid 2 yet, you don't have access to Koromoru yet. That's another really good one. There's also Ulmia, which is another bard, but usually has a slightly different priority on her bard songs. There's a lot. There's like 120 something of them, I think. And some of them are absolute nonsense to try to get. Just quite the ordeal, to say the least. And after this, we accept the Joachim quest. And my man. And that is the last of them. Yeah, so we start with 3 and we'll eventually be able to use up to 5 trusts. When you're solo, if you have anyone taking up a party spot, like another player, then it's only 1. You can't fill more than 6 players, which is the maximum party size. So, you know, for every extra player, it's -1 trust. But that covers trusts. That covers kind of the introduction. And I think this is a good spot to end. We're really primed to get all of our missions done. We are going to have to go to both Dangrove Wadi and the Palborough Mines for the next 2 missions. And in the Palborough Mines, I might gain a pretty decent amount of experience, in all honesty. It can be quite the time getting the items from there. It's one of the reasons why I started as Thief. I find that starting as Thief, if you're going to be this way, is probably the way to go. But even still, I'm a little concerned with some parts of doing that 3rd quest in Bastic. I think it's one of the more annoying quests to actually do, but that depends on if it's still as populated as it was the last time I do it. So that's going to be a wrap for part 1 of our Let's Play. Reminder, these will be releasing every Wednesday. I am not going to flood my channel with these. The last time I did the Let's Play series, I really did burn out by just spamming it like every day or every other day because it was doing so well. So I was like, oh yeah, just release it. It's going to be every Wednesday. Maybe we have a bonus upload on some weeks if I know that I won't be able to release one on a Wednesday, or I'm just feeling it. Like the other day would be Saturday. So Wednesdays for sure, Saturdays occasionally, maybe. But that will be we'll get to that when we do. But thank you for watching part 1 of the 2025 Final Fantasy XI Let's Play. Be sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned for more. So with that, I will see all of you in the next one. Until then, take care.